So the problem is, for the network diagram shown below, find critical path and expected project completion time. Draw the table showing the details for each activity along with the total free and independent flow. Total flow. So this is your network diagram. Here we have different event and different activity. We have a starting point, earliest start point and latest start point, which is 0. 1 is also known as event and A is also known as activity. D is your activity, B is your activity. We have different type of activity and we have expected time for each activity. So we have to make a diagram, or sometime it is provided on question paper. Now we can solve this network problem and evaluate total independent and free flow to this for this problem. So come to this table. We have different activity like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. And for each activity, we have different expected time like 2, 7 and so on. So we have to calculate first earliest time and then latest time. So we have to calculate in earliest time, earliest start time and earliest finish time. Simultaneously, we have to calculate for latest start time and latest finish time for each activity. Now we can see here for activity A. For activity A, we starting from 0, we can say earliest start point is 0 and earliest finish time for an activity A, the expected time is 0 as we know. So earliest start time is 0 and earliest finish time is 2. Okay. Now for activity B, earliest start time is 0 and earliest finish time is 7 because the activity B has taken 7, which is its expected time. And for activity C, earliest start time is 0 and earliest finish time is 8 because the expected time for activity C is 8. Now for D activity, earliest start time is 2 and earliest finish time is 13. Why? We have different path. So we have to calculate maximum time for this activity. We can also go from 1 to 5 for this path, 1 to 5, or we can go from 1 to 3, then 3 to 5. This is also a path from where we can go. So 1 to 3 it takes 7 minute or 7 hours, and from 3 to 5 it takes 6 expected time, which is, you can say, 7 plus 6 is equal to 13, which is earliest finish time. Okay, now come to table. I think this is simple. We have to calculate maximum time for each and every activity. So we can calculate earliest start time, which is starting time, and earliest finish time, which is maximum time cover in the project or cover in the path. So for each activity we have earliest start time, earliest finish time. Likewise, we can say take an example for activity I. Activity I, you can see here in activity I, we have earliest start time is 13 and earliest finish time, we can say 13 plus 2 is equal to 15, which is your earliest finish time. Likewise, we also calculate for activity like J, or we can consider like F. So here earliest start time is 7 and earliest finish time is 17. Okay. So for now we can also calculate for different path, or you can say different activity or different event. We have different earliest start time and earliest finish time. Simultaneously we have to calculate latest. So when we calculate latest start time or latest finish time, we have to go from ending point. Ending point, it means we have to calculate from the event 8, then we have to go to event 1. You can say in a table we have to calculate from the event k, yeah, or we can say from the event k, which is the latest finish time is 22 and which is take minimum time to complete activity k, and latest start time is 16. So now we can say for each and every activity we have to calculate first latest finish time, then we have to calculate latest start time. Likewise, suppose we have to calculate for activity I. Activity I, we have to calculate latest finish time and latest start time. Here latest finish time is 16 and I, the expected time of I for is 2 week 2 minute. So 16 subtracted by 2, latest finish time is equal to 14. Simultaneously, suppose we have to come for activity E. Activity E, we have different path from 8 to 5. For activity E, we can go from 7 to 5. 7 almost latest finish time for 5 to 3. Latest start time for 5, latest finish time for 5 activity is 14 and latest start time 14 subtracted by 6 is equal to 8. But we have different path, so we have to calculate minimum time for this path. So 16 minus 4 is almost equal to 12. So we have to not selected this one. 17 minus 10. 17 minus 10. So earliest start or latest finish time for this activity is 17 minus 10, 7. Likewise, this is a table where we have to calculate latest finish time and latest start time. Likewise, for activity K, latest finish time is 22 and latest start time 16. For activity J, latest finish time is 22 and latest start time 17. For activity I, latest finish time is 16 and latest start time 14. Simultaneously, we have for different activity we have different latest finish time and latest start time. So we have to calculate float, different type of float for each and every activity: total float, free float and independent float. Total float, how we calculate total float, which is basically for activity A. Now you can say for activity A, latest finish time minus earliest finish time or latest start time minus earliest start time. This is your total float. For an activity 11 minus 2, for an activity A, 11 minus 2 is equal to 9, or we can say 9 minus 0 is equal to 9. For example, we take different activity like for activity G, we have latest finish time 16 and earliest finish time 11. 16 minus 11, 5, or we can say latest start time 12 minus earliest start time 7. Then total float is equal to 5. Simultaneously, we can calculate total float for any activity A, B, C or whatever. Now we have to calculate free float. We have total float. So we simply know total float is equal to free float is equal to total float minus head event slack. So now total float for an activity A 9 and head event slack for activity A. Here head event slack, latest minus earliest, 11 minus 2 is equal to 9, which is your head event slack. Okay, so 9 you can say total float 9 minus slack is 9, which is equal to 0. Now we can calculate for any activity, like we can calculate activity for h. Now total float for h is equal to 3 minus head event slack for activity h. We have to find first activity. Where is h? Here. Head event slack, this is your head event, this is your tail event. Head event slack. Now for activity h, you can see here the head event slack difference between latest minus earliest 0. So from the table you can see free float is equal to total float minus head event slack. 3 minus 0 is equal to 3. 3 minus 0 is equal to 3. Likewise, we have to calculate different free float for different activity. Now, independent float. What is independent float? It is basically the difference between total float and tail event slack. For activity like B, we have free float 0, and what is the amount of tail event slack? For activity B, we have tail event slack 0. So we can say 0 minus 0 is equal to 0. Now we can calculate the free independent float for activity G. Now in network diagram, where is G activity? We have to find first. This is your G activity. And the tail event slack for G activity, tail event slack is your 7 minus 7, 0. And free float for activity G, we have 4. 4 minus 0 is equal to 4. Simultaneously, for activity C, or sorry, for activity D, we have free float 8, and what is the amount of tail event slack? So we have to move for event D. We have tail, this is your tail event slack, this is your head event slack. For activity D, tail event slack, the amount of tail event slack is 9. So we have to take the difference 8 minus 9, which is almost equal to minus 1. So as we know, in independent float, if the value is coming less than 0, so we have to take the value as it is 0, okay, in any problem. So entirely this is the related from total float, free float and independent.